arms folded, flag hangs on the wall. Traded steel and thunder for silence in the hall. The mission's over, the deployment's done, they said. But the war inside my head, it hasn't left its stead. Got the handshake, the thank you, the ticket back home. Now I'm standing on the sidewalk, feeling utterly alone. This freedom is a cage that I can't seem to break. Every single morning it's a future I might forsake. Lost the rhythm, lost the drive, the structure disappeared. The invisible wounds are the ones that I truly feared. I'm walking on a wire, the pressure's coming down. Is there anyone listening in this lonely town? Full speed ahead after battle.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here for another episode of Full Speed Ahead After Battle on the Military Broadcast Radio Network, where we give veterans a voice. I'm your host and your mental coach, Josh McCabe, and we have another great episode tonight. We've got another veteran coming on here in a little bit, but quick, before we bring him on, let's go ahead and recap the events of last week. If you've been tuning in every week, you know last week the local VFW, we had a Night of Valor dinner. We had Medal of Honor recipient Doc Ballard come out along with TV star Donna Snow. And they both talked about their passion and their love for ham radio operating. They're both licensed ham operator radio people. And the statistics behind that that they shared with us shows that veterans that are licensed as ham radio operators, them and their families, has dramatically decreased the suicide rate amongst veterans, because it gives them an opportunity to reach out to veterans all across the nation, the world, all over the place. It hides the image of who that veteran is. So instead of seeing who you're talking to, you're just listening and you're hearing the stories and the talk. And we're kind of eliminating a lot of the other aspects that sometimes people judge on, whether what they look like, how they dress, things like that. So they're really passionate about it. So if you have or you want to know more about becoming a radio operator, you can reach out to Doc Ballard's foundation, and he will get you set up with some local people in your area to get that licensing done. Not only that, Doc's foundation, he goes around traveling, so donating or asking for donations for his other passion in life, and that is providing funeral services for indigent veterans and first responders. He also shared with us a lot of the statistics about it. Most people are not aware that veterans, they get the funeral burial, they don't get the funeral services paid for by the VA or in their insurance, whether they're in or not. When we talk about funeral services, we're talking about getting that body from place A to place B, funeral services, church, things like that. So Doc's foundation is all about raising funds because he is a funeral director himself. He went back to school at 60 years old. That man is 80 now. And still pushing for this. That's what he does with this Medal of Honor notoriety is go around the nation helping veterans with those funeral services, but also suicide awareness is what we talk about on this show a lot. Because let's get into it, the numbers that we put out every week, right? On average, we stick with the number of 22 veterans. Numbers gone up and down over the years, but on average, 22 veterans commit suicide every single day. And that transition from service to civilian life is one of arguably the leading cause in that suicide rate. That's when they come out of everything that they've ever known for several years, that structure that they come from, and come into a civilian life where they have a lot more options. They lose that mission, they lose that purpose in life. And a lot of times that's what gets them down. And so that's what we're here to help with. That's what Doc's Foundation is there to help with. He is a great man, a hilarious man. If you don't know Doc's story, he was a corpsman in the Navy back in Vietnam, and he was tagged with a Marine group out in, I want to say, I forget where it was, but over there in Vietnam somewhere. He was in a foxhole with several of the Marines. Incoming grenade came in. He jumped on top of it. Once it did not explode, he picked it up, threw it away, ended up taking out what he calls several Viet Cong, both by rifle and by knife. So this man, several wounds. He is a living American hero. So if you ever get the chance to meet with him, I highly suggest you do it. The statistic for that, for meeting a living Medal of Honor recipient, is about 0.00018% chance. And so far, I've been able to meet two of them. Mr. Patterson and Mr. Ballard themselves. They've both been at the VFW. So great men. That was that night. Thursday morning, the next morning, had a bit of a heartache, actually. You know, I'll be honest with you. I woke up, went to let the dogs out like I normally do in the morning. We got three of them. We got a Pyrenees, it's about 2-3 years old. Got a chocolate lab. He's about 13 years old, and a terrier that's about 9 years old. Well, my chocolate lab, he's been with me since day one, and he could not keep himself up. He was falling all over the place. Eyes were all over the place. Took him into the emergency vet and did a lot of testing. Turns out he had a stroke. So they gave him some medication. We've been keeping an eye on him. He seems to be getting better, which is good. But for any veterans out there or anybody listening, you know how important animals are, pets are, to people in general, but a lot of times our vets, because that's, you know, those companions, they go through things with us day by day, almost all their lives, right? Like I said, he's been with me almost 13 years now, and so we've been through a lot. So happy he's doing better. So then that leads us to the big show last night everybody's talking about, right? I don't know what everybody else was watching, but I was watching the USA mixed doubles curling team. Corey and Corey, they go by, playing Estoria or something, Estoria last night, and won. They are the first American doubles in US that have made it to the medal round for curling for the USA. They beat Italy at 4 a.m. this morning, the reigning champs, and so they are tomorrow afternoon. They're going to be playing for the gold round, or for the gold medal. So that'll be at 12:05. I don't know why, but curling appeals to me. It seems like it's just a bunch of drunk dads that got together in a bar and said, let's throw some stuff on ice. And if you see some of the USA guys, you know exactly what I'm talking about. A lot of fun. But as far as the other shows last night, not going to talk about that. We don't do politics and religion on Full Speed Ahead, and we all know that, because that just causes way too many problems. But, you know, other shows that are out there, that's perfectly fine. That's just not the agenda on this show. So that leads us into our guest tonight. Our guest tonight is a fellow sailor. He served a few years. We'll get into his story in a little bit. But not only is he, you know, a veteran, he's also what some might call an American hero. He drives a truck over the road. He does long haul. And as a lot of us know, people that are in the trucking industry, if it wasn't for them, things don't get to the tables, things don't get to the stores. We don't eat, we don't get to buy stuff. And so, you know, I always grew up respecting truck drivers, a lot of the people in those industries. And I think more people probably need to get into that, just with everything going on. They get a bad rap sometimes, but they're the ones that keep this country running, right? If it's not for them, things don't get moved. But he's also creating a veteran nonprofit that we're going to get into a little about that we'll talk about when he comes on. But that brings us to our guest tonight, and our guest tonight is going to be Matt Mattison, and we'll bring him on for interview of the week.
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Matt, welcome to Full Speed Ahead, brother.
Hey Josh, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing tonight?
Just chilling in my truck, nothing to do.
Which truck stop are you stuck at tonight?
Dayton, Ohio, north of Dayton, on 75, and I'll be at Pilot.
Pilot, okay. And you're home based out of South Texas, right?
Yeah, it's south of Houston is where I live.
South of Houston. Yeah, it's a long ways away from home. But like I just said, I give all the credit to our truck driving guys. Y'all keep this country running. If it wasn't for y'all, food wouldn't get on the tables and stuff wouldn't be in the stores, right?
Yeah.
So let's get into it. Let's learn a little bit about Matt. Let's talk about, give us a bit of history about yourself. Where did you come from, veteran-wise? What'd you do? Give us a rundown.
Yeah, so I joined the Navy. I joined MEPS and shipped out from Dickinson, Texas. That's between Galveston and Houston. And went to boot camp. I was there for Christmas and everything like that. I didn't get to go home like they promised I would. And so, got rolling. My tech school was in Pensacola for aviation ordnance. And so I learned about bomb assembly and stowage and just the culture of bomb care, I guess,
Yeah.
And right after that, I got picked up for Norfolk, and then as I was in Norfolk, they assigned me to the USS Enterprise. So that's the first nuclear conventional carrier. It had 8 nuclear reactors on it, and most of them now have 1 or 2. So it's definitely one of the fastest ships in the world, probably.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the biggest ones too. So a lot of about 5,000 of y'all on there. Yeah, the whole floating city. So then let's get into this. Since we talk about transition a lot, obviously you're a truck driver now. You're dealing with ordnance then. Is truck driving what you got into on your way out, or how did you get out of the military? Let's start there. Were you forced out? Did you decide, my time's up, I need to find something new to do? What was that transition like for you?
I knew I didn't want to stay in. I never took promotion seriously. I was, I was the blister. I showed up after all the work was done. I didn't want to promote. I wasn't, driven to do any of that. And, but I sure like to travel. So, when I got out, having, worked with all the sailors, I really didn't want to go back to that, civilian work life style going on. I kind of didn't want to depend on other people.
Sounds like we got technical difficulty. Matt's freezing up over there in Ohio.
I'm back.
Okay, there we go. All right, life on the road. No, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, so right after the military, I started working as a truck driver for Budweiser distributor. And, from there, it just kind of evolved. I moved into flatbed pretty quickly. I've been doing flatbed, RGN lowboy, and step deck for the last 15 years. So pretty much exclusively.
Okay.
So I haul equipment or oversize.
Yeah. So you just mainly got into that so you get out and kind of see the place and travel a little bit. Were you married with a family at the time, or is that something you just on your own?
Yeah, when I gotten out, I had a 6-month-old daughter, and me and my wife had been married since 2007. I got out in 2009, so we've been together since boot camp. We were dating, and so I was local mostly at first, a little bit of regional, just Baton Rouge and back to Houston,
Yeah.
but I was never really gone all that much with it until I went over the road later on.
So what drove you to getting over the road? Just to get out more, or is it better pay, or what made you do
Uh,
that decision?
Curiosity. Um,
Yeah.
I know, I know, I know that I enjoy traveling, seeing the sights and the mountains, and the
Yeah.
all the stuff. But one of my buddies had actually started in a lease purchase program, so it's for owner operators to be able to eventually obtain a truck that's theirs. So I jumped into one as well, and I was doing flatbed with it, and it was something that I really enjoyed. I just love the road. I
Yeah.
love the lifestyle. Get up and go. Yeah, it's totally free out here. As far as working, I mean,
Right.
you're just your own boss. So
Yeah.
I did come back home in 2016, and the kids were still young back then. I had a son and a daughter then, and I was just gone way too much, and I wasn't making a whole lot of money anymore because I was home too much. And if you're home, you
Yeah.
don't make any money.
Right. Unfortunately, that's how it goes with a lot of jobs, right? You got to get out there and actually do something. So, not all of us
Yeah.
get the enjoyment of just sitting home, bringing home that paycheck. But okay. So, for let's talk about it from a veteran perspective. Is truck driving like good for the veterans that are getting into it? Is it a good industry for veterans to get into, or what is your perspective on that?
I would say absolutely. Um,
Yeah.
I think when I got out of the military, I was expecting all this special treatment. People would look up to
Hmm.
me, and all this. I had all these delusions in my head that weren't realistic,
Yeah.
and so
Yeah.
what I find when I'm in a truck by myself is like it's a lot easier. It's not me depending on everybody else around me in the department. You know,
Right.
I've never really even had one of those kind of jobs, so it's always been
Yeah.
trucking for me.
Yeah. So that's kind of a lone job. You ain't got to depend on nobody. You just take care of your business and keep on going. I completely understand that. So, let me ask you then, if you're out there on the road a lot by yourself, how does that, I'm just going to come out and say it, how does that affect your mental health? I mean, are you able to keep in touch with the family enough, or do you have a support system? Or and I ask because a lot of veterans, when they get that too much alone time, that's when they start thinking bad thoughts and things like that. And so I'm just curious of how that works for you on the road with a lot of down or solo time. Call it solo time.
Well, for me, as far as my mental health goes, I was sucking real bad before I hit over the road,
Mm,
and once I went out there that first time, it was like the medicine that I needed. Like being in the home and stuck all the time and isolating and playing video games 24/7 and smoking and drinking and
yeah.
doing whatever you think you need to do to survive. It's actually
Right.
just you're just frozen in time and you're not spending time with anybody. And then when I was
Right.
able to leave the house and go do this, I felt alive again. I
Okay.
wanted to be out there.
Okay. I get that. So then, that kind of makes you miss family more when you're away from home. And then when you get back, it's you're more focused on spending the time instead of stuck playing those video games thinking, well, they're here right here with me, I get to see them all the time. It's
Yeah.
just not the same. Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So what would you suggest to veterans that are looking to get into the trucking industry? Where do they need to start, or what kind of skills, I guess, would help them that they learned in service that would help them in the truck driving industry, even if they don't come from a truck background or vehicle background in the military?
Yeah. First of all, if they did drive trucks in the military, that's like an automatic CDL for them. And I think
Yeah.
I haven't spoken with anybody about this since this DOT required the schooling now. So like I'm
Mhm.
grandfathered. I never went to school for my CDL, but
Okay.
for them, local. I mean, you can work anywhere local. You can work for PepsiCo. You can work for Coca-Cola. You can work for Miller Lite. Miss Baird's bread delivery. Like,
Right.
the sky's the limit. Everything is needed around where you live, and especially for equipment, they got like Sunbelt Rentals, uh, Sun State, and Hertz, and United, and there's plenty of jobs out there, and they'll teach you how
Yeah.
to drive and work your way up.
Okay.
And then
Now you may or
look
may
it
not
over the
know,
road.
but I mean, you may or may not know, but does CDL classes or the way to get your license is there a program through the VA vocational technical program? Do they pay for that, or do you know?
Well before this stuff ever came out where it was a requirement and mandated, I know that veterans were using parts of their GI Bill at the local community college to get their license. And
Okay.
that's a state ran school too, so it's going to be certified, you know.
Okay. Okay, good. All right. So we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to get talking. Let's maybe get into VBN and what you're doing with that nonprofit and how you're, helping veterans out there on the world today. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Been home about 6 months now, and I still have my doubts. Well, I'm not sure how I got here or how I'm gonna get out. Well, my mama says I look the same as I did before I left, but if she could see inside of me, it would scare her to death. I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, it weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on, I just can't get it off. Last Saturday they honored us in a small parade downtown, and when they shot off those fireworks, I nearly hit the ground. And while they smiled and cheered for us, all I could do was stare, 'cause part of me is here at home, but part of me's back there. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, it weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. They taught me how to put that uniform on, I just can't get it off. Yeah, there's no end in sight, 'cause even though I'm home now, I'm still fighting for my life. Well, I can still taste the powder from the barrel of my gun, and I can hear my sergeant screaming, "Run, soldier, run!" And I can feel the backpack on my shoulders, God, it weighed a ton. And I see death in every single thought. Well, they taught me how to put that uniform on, I just can't get it off. Well, the devil's won some battles, and he may win some more, but don't he know the American soldier will always win?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back here on Full Speed Ahead After Battle on the Military Broadcast Radio. My guest, Matt Mattison, on the road in Dayton, Ohio right now, sitting in the back of his International. So, Matt, let's talk about VBN, Veteran Breakthrough Network. What was the thought behind creating this nonprofit that you got going on?
Everything that tried to kill me. It's
All right.
it's my attempt to provide the space and the safety for our members to open up and share about trauma, about PTSD, about addiction, about homelessness, everything. Just I wanted to create a place where that I needed when I was in the thick of my PTSD a few times. So
yeah,
I mean, it's still growing, and it's not completed yet, but I'm just sitting back and watching the fruit happen, you know?
Yeah, I got you. So let's go back a little bit then. You talk about, a lot of nonprofits or groups or whatever are created because a veteran sees something that they could have used, right? And you mentioned you did this out of what happened with you through PTSD. So when we talk about your PTSD, it looks different for every veteran, right? So what did that look like for you? What were some of the struggles that you faced going through your battles?
Yeah, I've definitely had different seasons of it. Some worse,
Mhm.
some milder, but at at the beginning, before I was even in the military, I had childhood trauma. So I
Mhm.
have complex PTSD, which
Right.
the VA does not acknowledge because
Yeah.
they're not responsible for our childhood, right? So
Right.
um, I've already been dealing with this stuff most of my life, and it wasn't until I went into counseling when I finally gave in, and believed in it, and started talking about my family of origin and my military, and all of
Mhm.
my events that were traumatic for me. And today I can visit those places in my head and not have any reactions emotionally. I don't I
Right.
don't waver or tremble. So it's for me. I've had like bipolar. I've had generalized anxiety disorder,
Mhm.
ADHD, complex PTSD, and so all of those things have a lot of overlap. And for many years, I was a heavy alcoholic. I
Yeah.
was drinking, you know, more and more all the time, and spending $300 a week at the liquor store, and just
Right.
going crazy. So, um, I mean, it wasn't until I started going to rehab. It was actually a veteran approved mental health facility. So
Mhm.
it was about mood regulation and stuff like that, med management. And so
Right.
um, I had gotten pretty volatile a few times. I was just angry all the time. I didn't have a fuse anymore. I was just constantly ready to explode in public, at home,
Right.
everywhere. And I just, I wasn't safe. I wasn't safe for anybody, even myself. Just
Yeah.
being like that. So after I'd gotten the help with the mental facility, it still wasn't, things weren't right. So I ended up going to Camp Hope. Uh,
Mhm.
it's the PTSD Foundation of America in Houston, and
Right.
they only allow combat vets to go in,
Yeah.
and it's just an extreme and inpatient intensive PTSD school about PTSD
Yeah.
and triggers and emotions, and we're in counseling every week, and we did all
Yeah.
these things. We were in recovery. We would go to AA meetings, NA meetings, and then when I graduated from there, even to this day, I'm able to maintain my sobriety. And um, it's just changed my life. I needed to go through something heavy like that, like
Right.
heavily involved. I'm there every day for it all to
Yeah.
click, and so.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Camp Hope has been mentioned several times by many people on the show. And so what things in Camp Hope for those viewers that don't know, or maybe they're on the edge of maybe I should go, maybe I shouldn't. What are some of the things that help you the most through Camp Hope, whether it's the AA meetings or just being there with other veterans that share the same stories? What helped you the most through Camp Hope?
Aside from my wife and kids coming to see me almost every Sunday, the peer community, just
Yeah.
you're in you're like each house that you're in is called a bay, and so like your bay
Mhm.
members are the ones that you spend the most time with after school. And so building those relationships and having people to talk to when I'm spiraling out and about to crash, and like
Right.
anxiety, it was pretty wild in there. Like everybody's meds are messed up, everybody's coming off of something, and so.
Mhm.
But it's been a really good thing. I'm really grateful that I got to go.
So how long have you been sober then since that?
It's been 26 months now.
Nice. Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's a good turn. I'm pretty good to hear
yeah,
it. So it sounds like you took kind of what you learned in Camp Hope and started building VBN with this Discord because you don't just let anybody in there, right? You've got to certify to be a veteran to join the VBN Discord channel. Is that correct?
yeah. There's a heavy verification process. We've had a lot of issues with stolen valor, scammers, people trying to steal identity of members.
Hmm.
Just very, very malicious and shady folks. So
Yeah.
we've battened the hatches, and it's even more strict today. But
Yeah.
if you come in and you want to join, you're gonna have to verify with us, and then you get into the server.
Hmm.
So
Yeah. Well, I think that's good because, like I said, there's a lot of groups and nonprofits and stuff out there that just kind of let anybody join. And I completely get doing that, right? You want to bring in the community and the families and the networks and everything. But it's also nice to have those small groups where it's only the veterans, right? That we can talk about what we want to talk about without worrying about scaring somebody or get turned into Facebook police or, something like that. So I can completely understand why you're building that network of verified veterans. And so
yeah,
looking through it, you've got a lot of different avenues on that Discord channel, right? So you've got I'm not sure how Discord's set up because I don't use it much, but you've got groups for, just regular talk and groups for, mental health help and all kinds of stuff, right?
yeah. And I want to back up just a little bit. One of
Yeah.
the reasons why it is so strict and you do have to be a veteran or active duty service member is because, like, what if somebody's spouse joined, and then
Hmm.
the spouse being a civilian, um, the veteran wouldn't want to open up and
Hmm.
be vulnerable with the guys, and gals, the way that they would if the wife wasn't there. So,
Right.
and on top
Yeah.
of that, there's like the whole I don't want civilians in there ever because we're not a bunch of monkeys at the zoo in a cage. Like, we're going to talk about what's personal to us that we get, that we
Right.
understand, and
Yeah.
have that unity in that community that supports it and gathers around it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I completely understand that because sometimes you'll open up to the people that have been there and done that, like everybody says, the people that can relate to it. It's easier for us to open up to those people because there's some things that you still don't want to tell the wife or the husband or whatever, and it's completely understandable because you don't want to put, I struggle with that for the longest time. Like some of the things I dealt with overseas, I did not want to tell my wife at all because I didn't want to put those thoughts in her mind of, well, did he do this? Or, what did he see? Or what would have happened? Or, those things that you try to protect the family and the other ones from that kind of stuff too. Right. And so, yeah, it's nice to bring the family in for that network and support system, but sometimes it's nice to just be the vet on vet guy talk,
Yeah.
so to speak. Right. So,
There's no other
yeah.
relationship
So,
in the world that's better than that.
absolutely, absolutely. It definitely gets dark sometimes with the humor and the jokes and whatnot. So, you don't want to
Yeah.
scare the people too much. But yeah, so let's talk about all the different avenues that you've created on that Discord channel for people that are interested in joining. So you've got groups for everything, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you've never been on Discord, Discord is kind of like When you go to Veterans Breakthrough Network server and you join, that's kind of like the mall. And inside of that mall, there's lots of different stores. So, like over here, we got the general chat for everybody. We got mental health chat. And then we got like a sobriety tab over here. It's called One Day at a Time. So that's going to be AA, NA, and then a little bit of spirituality, faith chat in there as well. And then we got this one section specifically for us, and it just says through our eyes. And so what we post in there are pictures that we took in our service, and a lot of guys take pictures of their unit and they black all the eyes out, and they're all geared up and ready to roll. One guy's got a bazooka in his arm in a hot tub, like just hanging out, smoking a cigar. And I mean, it's wild. This is our story to tell, and we tell it through photos.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely a good time to share because like both of us being sailors, right? We might not have served together on the same ship or at the same time, but we have the same kind of stories and been to the same kind of places. And so, it's nice to catch up and reminisce about those old days and the, the sailor or the Navy traditions and things like that. So yeah, it's cool to see how other people, whatever your story was, whether you're in the Navy is different from mine, but it's cool to see. So, I enjoy seeing some of those pictures and catching up in there. And yeah, that's awesome that you're giving so many avenues for people to talk within that Discord. And so you mentioned the VBN website. Is there a certain website people can go to get connected to that Discord channel?
Actually, they can just type into Google,
Okay.
Veterans Breakthrough Network. Breakthrough is one word.
Okay.
And it'll be the first thing that pops up. It'll take you to the invite inside of one of the Discord, like billboards, they call it.
Okay. I'm gonna put that in the chat right now.
I can shoot you an invite to the server as well after this.
Okay. Yeah, awesome. Share that in the comments. So anybody paying attention, if you see the comments, Veterans Breakthrough Network, like Matt just said, Google that, follow it to the Discord. You are going to have to verify that you're a veteran. There's a couple of different ways that you can do that, I suppose. And whether it's, DD214 or CAT card or VAID card or something showing, it's not to steal
veteran
your information.
Status.
It's just a veteran status. Yeah. It's just to verify your veteran status. That's it. Just like you got to do for all the other different veteran nonprofits. So awesome. So, I see that you're wearing the shirt, stay with the semicolon. Tomorrow needs you. I love that shirt. I've got several shirts like it, just not that one. So let's talk about that. Reaching out to these veterans and trying to get them to understand that it's okay to reach out and ask for help. Right. Because I think that's what started me on this show is that stigma that I'm a lesser veteran, I'm a lesser man, I'm a lesser person if I ask for that help. But that's the only way you can get through this, right? That's the only way you can get through those struggles, the mental health, the PTSD, whatever it is. And so, what do you have to say about that stigma?
I mean, I tried my damnedest to get through it by myself, and you know what? It didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife could tell me 10,000 times that, I need to get away from the office. I need to get out. And, like she was offering me all these things that I could do to help me pull out of my funk that I was in, my PTSD. But, it's just like, if I would have had another veteran to talk to, like I felt like really wanted to hear about it, and then I would have done it. But I created all these like false beliefs in my head that I wasn't worthy of reaching out, and nobody would be bothering people,
Yeah, I get that. I've been seeing a commercial lately on TV, and it's a Marine that's gone through combat, right? Older Marine gone through combat, and then it switches over to a younger lady that served, and her story is she didn't see the combat. She thinks other people are hurt more than her, and she doesn't deserve it. And then it switches back to the Marine. Well, what would you say? And a veteran is a veteran, whether you went to combat, whether you didn't. You all have different stories. You all have different things. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve the help. It doesn't mean that you don't deserve to be able to talk to somebody. And I think that's what a lot of veterans get stuck on, is they think that there's somebody out there that's more broken, more hurt, more injured than them. They don't have the right to reach out because they didn't go overseas, they didn't deploy, they didn't do anything. Right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, and unfortunately, that's kind of sad to see, but that's where we got to break that discussion down and get those people to open up that, look, if you signed up and you're a veteran, whether you stayed stateside for 5 years or you deployed for 10 years, go to the VA, get your benefits, because you have every right to them. You deserve to ask for help. You have the right to ask for help. You're not in this alone. And just like I've told several people through the mental health coaching is, day one at boot camp, they teach you about building that teamwork and working together, and you go through battle and you got people left and right of you. You didn't serve alone then. You're not serving alone now. There's, the mission looks different. The purpose is different, but you still got to build that network with you, whether it's your family or, maybe it's a group of truckers that you talk to on the CB going down the road, right? It's, you got to build that network of people because you're not in this battle alone.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's one of the hard parts for me. Oh,
yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, man.
Being at Camp Hope, I was really struggling with feeling unworthy of being there. I am a Pogue, but my DD-214 says I was in a combat zone, and so I really wanted to kick myself out for that. And like 5 of the mentors and like the program director came up, and they all talked life to me about staying and not going home and going back to where I was, and not a better place. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes they try and talk you into staying because, whether it's they need the guy or they don't want to, they can't afford to lose you. And maybe that's what it is. But sometimes they're selfish and never know. But I truly believe that everybody is in the place that they're meant to be, whether it's in the truck or, if you're homeless. I know it's sad, but everybody's in the place that they're supposed to be in at that moment. Whether it's to teach them a lesson they haven't seen yet or learn something they haven't learned yet, things will get better. And you just have to build that network, whether it's the wife, the kids, somebody you ain't never met yet. Got to build that network. So we're going to take another quick break, and then we'll be back and we'll talk a little bit more, and we'll see where that goes for us.
I thought we were through with this. Then I watched the evening news. There were folks that still wouldn't stand for the old red, white, and blue. At first it made me fight and mad how they think that that's okay. Then I thought they just don't understand, and given a chance I'd say, have you ever been there when taps was played or for a 21-gun salute? Had to hear the words you never want to hear? Have you ever had to face that truth? When a son or daughter didn't come back home to a family so devoted, then you might not disrespect our flag. If you'd ever been handed one folded. Have you seen a heartbroken mother or a father fall to his knees? Been there when a family got the news that your freedom wasn't free? Have you seen a flag draped coffin? If you did, how'd it make you feel to know a soldier died to give you the right to stand or kneel. Most of us are immigrants, proud to call America home. And I'll stand for the red, white, and blue, even if I gotta stand alone. 'Cause I've been there when taps was playing for a 21-gun salute. I had to hear the words I didn't want to hear. Yeah, I had to face that truth. When a son and daughter didn't come back home to a family so devoted. You never disrespect our flag. If you'd ever been handed one folded, you never disrespect our flag. If you'd ever been handed one folded. One folded.
All right. Welcome back to Full Speed Ahead here on NPR with my guest, Matt. So before we took a break, we were talking about building that network. And, you know, a lot of veterans, when they come out of the service, they struggle finding that camaraderie and that friendship that they had in service, right? So do you find that same camaraderie or connection with the other guys on the road? How does that work out for you?
The road's changed. 10 years ago when I was out here, yeah, it's no brotherhood anymore, in my opinion. And
Oh man,
I went my first week on the road. I went to the truck stop and I sat by the fuel desk and I asked drivers coming in if I can get one of their showers. They get unlimited showers for getting fuel, and three of them said no before somebody said yes. And I know that when I was on the road, I would have helped anybody in a heartbeat. I know what it's like to be new out here, and it just really was a sad day for trucking to me.
Yeah. Well, I guess, it's changed a lot since in the last few years, as we've seen in the news. And then that's about as far as I'll go with that. But it's definitely a whole new world out there, I'm sure, for you. Yeah. So then keeping on with the camaraderie show with VBN, what are you, you said you're still working on this. What are you looking to grow this into? Just to keep it on Discord, or what are you hoping that this becomes?
First and foremost, I want it to meet a need for veterans with PTSD. I want to see, the fruits of what I've built. I want to see it working. I want to see people who are isolated and addicted, and reaching out and talking to us and seeking help, and community. That's really what it's about for me. And I created it because I was just, I was almost one of those phone calls that we all get, when the veteran took his life. And I'm tired of getting those phone calls. And if this can help just a handful of people, it would be a great thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a scary phone call to get. I got one of those a couple of weeks ago from a fellow VFW guy. And brother with his, repeat this, my veteran friend, his cousin who has a brother, having some issues, going through a tough time. And he almost, he was at the point that he was about to make that final decision. And, guy reached out and said, hey, can you talk to him vet to vet? And unfortunately, this is when a lot of the cell phone services were down and we could not reach him because it would go straight to voicemail or whatever it was because of that. But, I said, hey, look, have his brother contact local law enforcement, do a mental health check. And they went and checked on him, and they actually talked him into checking into the mental health facility out in Waco. And so they, luckily that worked out that time. But there's so many of those phone calls that don't work out, right? And that's what that's where groups like this show, like VBN, come in handy, because the more things we put out there, the easier that we make it for veterans to find a place to ask for help. Hopefully we get less and less of those phone calls. And I've seen the chatter that goes through your Discord channel, and there's a lot of guys in there that they're reaching out for real help, right? You got the mental health chat there, and they're like, man, I'm going through a hard time right now. And there's people just sit there and listen. They don't judge, they don't give, feedback. They just listen and, man, offer support. And that's what we need, right? Is we need that support. And there's so many times out there where people will say, if you need me, call me and I'll talk to you no matter what. But when it comes to
Oh
that phone
yeah.
call, I got to go. I got to work in the morning, or I got somewhere to be, and they don't want to sit there and have that tough conversation with you. And unfortunately, that happens more often than not. But it seems like you've got a good channel there that is actually supporting and helping them when they need it.
Yeah, and I'm a firm believer in the crisis line.
Yeah.
In the thick of my PTSD, I probably called 50 times in 3 months. No joke, just for hours and hours and hours. I was just right on the edge, and lonely and isolated. So, I mean, it's a good thing to have.
Yeah. That's that 988 crisis line, right? So, yeah, definitely. I know a lot of people have had some good experiences with that. Some people not so much, but it's like I said, it's another avenue to reach out and ask for help, and hopefully it helps you when you need it, if you can't get a hold of somebody else, right? So we're coming to the end of the hour, and here in the last few minutes, I like to always give my guests the 2-minute drill. I'll open it up to you for however long, couple minutes, however long you want to take to kind of speak your mind, speak your heart, and tell veterans what they need to hear right now. So I give it over to you, Matt.
Just throw your hand up when it's time to be done. Man, it's just, no matter what, we got to stick together. Doesn't matter if you were in the Coast Guard and he was in the Army, or this one just got out of the Space Force. We have these assumptions, and we put people in uniforms, and it blocks the help that they need. It dehumanizes them, and it dehumanizes us. And we don't have to have respect by the job that we had at the MOS or whatever. So I mean, just see each other as brothers and sisters. That's all we are today. We can't be anything more. We're all a veteran. It doesn't matter what kind. So I think if we can improve that morale, that thinking, I think that it would be a beautiful thing, and it would help a lot of folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Matt, thanks for coming on the show tonight. Good luck with Veteran Breakthrough Network. And for those just tuning in, you can Google it. It's a Discord channel. Go find it. They're doing a lot of good things out there. Veterans only. You got to verify. Once you get in, you get all the access. And I'm telling you, there's some good help in there. So, Matt, keep up the good work. I'm around if you need me, and you're welcome back on the show anytime, man.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you having me.
All right. Stay safe on the road.
Yes, sir.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you heard from Matt tonight, he's out there in Dayton, Ohio, but he's got that Veterans Breakthrough Network Discord channel. I don't know much about Discord. Never used it before, really, until Matt came along, kind of looked at it. But he's got a lot of good things going on there. And like I said, they've got avenues on there to just let you speak your mind and speak your heart, and it's no judgment. And I think that's what a lot of veterans need. We've had discussions on the show before where people go to therapists or psychologists or whatever it is. And, I was just chatting with somebody the other day that they said, I went to a therapist and all they did was tell stories about how their dad was in the service or this and that. And it's like, I don't understand what they're supposed to be there helping me for. Right. And so a lot of times it is about reaching out to fellow veterans, because that's who understands us. That's who we get along with. That's who we served with. They understand the stories. They understand the struggles. So whether it's VBN or VFW, American Legion, Irreverent Warriors, any of those other nonprofits or veteran groups out there, if it comes down to it and you're having a tough day, reach out to any of them. And I tell you what, you'll find out who the real groups are, the people that talk the talk and walk the walk. If you ask for help and they help you, they'll talk to you, that's the good group. If they tell you that, well, I'm too busy or I've got to be somewhere or something, I might want to rethink that one. But yeah, it's a struggle out there. Truck driving, it's not what it used to be, but according to Matt, that's a good avenue for a lot of veterans. Easy to get into, especially if you have that CDL background from the military. But yeah, make sure y'all go check out VBN on Discord. Check them out. Help Matt out. It's a great group out there. All right, so coming up next week, we got another guest, David Creed. He will be on here. We'll be talking all things like we always do about transition, veteran suicide, and mental health, all that good stuff. For anybody in the Fort Worth area, District 21 VFW meeting is coming up February 22nd in Granbury. Make sure you're out there for that one. We got a lot of good information coming down. I will be speaking at that event because in April, just a couple months away, we've got the Battle Buddy Throwdown Cornhole Tournament. That's going to be at Post 8235 in Fort Worth, over there by Lockheed, if you know where that is. We've got a great guy, a great VFW member. He is all things cornhole, so we say. He's going to be running the event on the Scoreholio app. So if you are signing up for that, you can register ahead of time at eventbrite.com, and then it's the Battle Buddy Throwdown, or you can register day of. Either way, it's $50. Special guest is Bruce Stacy of the Air Power Foundation. Bruce Stacy is a two-time Purple Heart recipient, two-time Silver Star recipient, two-time Bronze Star recipient. So he's going to be out there talking. We got live music by Last Call. Make sure you come check it out. All funds go to support the Irreverent Warriors of the Fort Worth chapter and their mission and battle against veteran suicide and mental health awareness. Stay tuned on Full Speed Ahead here, either on Facebook or YouTube for live updates, or on my personal Facebook page. We'll be putting up information as it comes available. We're looking for more interested individuals. If you've got a veteran nonprofit that wants to be there and either a sponsor, set up a table or something like that, reach out to me. We're looking for someone to sing the national anthem as well, if you'd like to come out and sing. So we're trying to make it a family event. So make sure you check that out. It's on the Texas VFW state page under state and local events. So there's more information there. More information, like I said, at Eventbrite. Check it out. And again, we'll be back next week with our next guest. And as always, as I tell everybody, stay safe out there. It's okay to reach out for help, like we discussed today. You're not in this battle alone, right? You went through boot camp as a team. You served, whether it's on a ship or in combat, as a team. You didn't serve alone. You never were alone while you served. You're not alone now. The mission may look different. The people may look different, but you have more tools in your tool bag now than you used to. You're still that same warrior that you used to be. You just have different life experiences now. And so use that to your advantage to keep going, whether it's at Camp Hope or any of the other great groups that are around this nation. I know there's a lot in Texas, so if you need some information on any of them, definitely reach out to me. If you're a veteran that wants to start your own podcast or show like this, or any show about any topic that you enjoy, it could be video games, could be truck driving, right? Reach out to MBR. We'll be happy to set you up and get you on your own show, find you a time and a date. A lot of good stuff on that NBR website. Make sure you check it out for the Die Tired campaign shirt that we have. Our proceeds are going to help our veterans. We did a combination shirt of NBR and Die Tired, the band. We have a lot of their music videos. Great band for the veterans. But that'll do it for this week's episode of Full Speed Ahead After Battle here on Military Broadcast Radio. Stay tuned next week. Same time on Monday, 7 p.m. Central. Stay safe out there. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to reach out. Dismissed.
Life is like a duck. Tough times don't last, but tough people do. Here at Military Broadcast Radio, we're teaming up with our friends at Die Tired, the veteran-friendly music band spreading strength, resilience, and mental health awareness one shirt at a time.
And check this out. Their brand new shirts feature broadcast beaker right on the breast pocket. A reminder that you can weather the storm, and you're never alone.
Shirts are only $25, and proceeds support giving veterans a voice. MBR's mission to teach veterans how to podcast and videocast. Because when our vets are talking, they're not overthinking. They're not second-guessing. Together, we stop the 22 stigma. Grab your shirt today at mbradio.us and hit the shop. Or go directly to toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband. That's toramerch.printavo.com/merch/dietiredband.
Suit up, stand strong.
Remember, we're unduckable together.
You're built tougher than the storm.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.